file transfer, make sure you raise your hand right now and I can send it out again, or else you can email me after class. So, okay, looks like you guys are all good to go. So let's go ahead and start with Angela. Can I have, we'll go ahead, because I'm running the timer up here. Didn't she do 10 minutes a session for each of us? So I'll go ahead and put us down as 10 minutes. And then for each, was it 8? Okay, thank you. I'll put it for 8 minutes then. And then receiving feedback, let's go ahead and do Angela first so we can get her finished up. And then, or Angela, do you want to give your feedback first to whoever you observed? So, and then whoever that is, and then I'll give you your
feedback. It doesn't matter either way. Either way.
Okay, great. Well, then let's go ahead and put you as the observer first, Angela. And then everyone fill out what you were or what you want to be. These two places, Tammy and Michael, we just have been kind of taking turns. If you haven't done one of these, then just go ahead and put your name in, and then we'll just make sure that you get around to all 4 places eventually before the end of the session. And more or less the notes is, Chris is going to take notes on what feedback this person is receiving here. Angela's the one getting the observer. Who did you observe, Angela, if you want to write their name in? And then observation of the feedback, that's Jill. She's going to observe how Angela gets feedback, and then she's going to send that to Angela. Make sure that when you guys do any of your feedback that you're giving to the observer or to the person that's receiving the feedback, when you email that to them, what we've been doing, Tammy and Michael, is we've been creating this whiteboard into a PDF, and then we just email it directly to those people and CC Brandy on it. So, any questions on how to do that, you guys, before we get started? Okay, sounds good. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Angela, if you want to give Jill her feedback, and then I'll set the timer for 8 minutes.
Okay, sounds great. And I'm sorry if there's barking in the background. We got a new dog last night. My husband surprised me with a new beagle. I think she's settling in, so every once in a while they kind of bark at each other. But anyway, things are peaceful at the moment. All right, so Jill, yeah, and they do bark. I have 3 beagles, so yeah, they will make a lot of noise. But I had I really was impressed with Jill and her instruction for her class. She instructed the class for her Mark 12 reading remedial class that she does for 3rd through 5th graders. They meet about 30 minutes twice a week, and they practiced reading sentences and speed reading sight words as a warm-up activity. That's how they started off. After a few announcements and reminders, she did a sound drill with the long A sound, and Jill did very well managing the class and keeping students engaged. Most of the directions in the class were verbally given, and Jill was very good at redirecting students and focusing on specific and concrete directions by telling students where to put pointers, what tools to use, where to circle, where to point. And she also emphasized their actions positively. You could easily observe the students following her directions. The end activity was really cute. She put up the sight words that they had focused on for the session, and over the sight words she had put a little picture of like the little glasses with the funny nose, like a disguise, and she put those over there so it's sight words, and it was really cute. She'd move them around, and the kids would all yell out together, and that was just really cute. It's the first time I'd seen that, so that was really a fun way to end the class for the kids. Some of the gems and the takeaways that were really positive is I liked how she did Superstar Awards for iReady work. She put up the students' names who had completed all their iReady work and kind of gave them acknowledgement right at the start, so that was a really nice gem. I liked that she put the objective at the top of the sound drill for new words, and she did it on several screens, but it just caught my attention on that one. The student's objective was, I can orally read words with A and A with a long, or the AI and the AY then her other gem was that she engaged students not reading by having them give a green check mark when they heard someone reading do it correctly. I thought that was really cool. It's a way to get those who are not actively participating to actively participate. So that was a really nice gem that I saw. And then there were 3 opportunities I saw just in regards to the strategy itself. The long A-word slide that she had, she started into the lesson, and one of the kids got her distracted with book it program questions, and they got off track for a few minutes. And so that was an opportunity to not focus mostly on the what to do, but use that classroom management of not letting the students distract you. That is so hard to do. The giving more, she could have given more specific and concrete directions visually as well as orally. So most of her directions were oral. There weren't any step-by-step directions like posted on the board where the students knew exactly step-by-step so they could visually read it. She gave them all orally. So that would be probably one of my first questions to you, Jill, is did you write yourself notes to make sure that you would keep track of the directions so that you weren't missing any steps, to make sure you were giving very concrete directions?
Yeah, I actually use Erin Edwards' slides for this, and she makes notes in her PowerPoints. So one action step I could take is to use pictures to provide a visual for specific and concrete directions, because they can't really read. So, or like use very simple language.
That would be great, yes. Kind of like you did at the very beginning. There were a couple sentences they would read and they had to match the sentence with the picture. Say, which sentence, could almost give that comprehension. They're not just reading words. And so you can do the same thing with directions. When we get on this page, this is what I want you to do. Here's an example, and you would do that orally, but sometimes, we also have visual learners. And even though they're a Mark 12 group, and I understood why you did more orally than having that visual direction, but helping introduce them to those visual directions would probably was an opportunity that you could do, like you said, give some pictures or maybe very short sentence directions to help them with that. And then there was just on the sight word screen with the silly glasses, some more concrete directions were needed on that last screen. It seemed a little chaotic at the end there. And so my 2 other questions I have. The first one is, what part of the class did you directly focus on the strategy?
I focus on it throughout. It's just something that's always on my mind to make sure they understand.
Okay, great, because I can tell that throughout the entire session, which was about a half an hour, about 33 minutes, you were very clear with everything that you said. You would show them the right tool, you would demonstrate, and you'd give them those examples. And then if they weren't doing it correctly, you would reiterate your directions and redirect them. So that was good. And so I think you already answered my last question, is how can you incorporate next time visual directions to go along with the verbal directions? And that was using the concrete pictures and being specific with simple language. So perfect. I think that's a great action step and goal for you.
Okay, and I went ahead and I wrote it down and I posted it up here also. So provide a visual of specific and concrete directions with pictures and simple language. I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that's all I have. I really enjoyed watching your class. I really love to be able to see how colleagues in different age levels and grade levels engage their students, because I always get a little nugget of something